Hey, over here. Welcome to Empire Builders TV, your pathway to wealth, success, and building your business empire. I'm your host, Bill Clark. In this and future episodes, we'll introduce you to the most innovative, creative, and dynamic entrepreneurs in the world of business. Men and women, just like yourselves, who have taken that leap of faith and are following their passion and living their dreams. In exclusive one-on-one interviews, these individuals will reveal their secrets and suggestions on how you can start and grow your business and build your own empire. And in our luxury lifestyle feature, we'll show you how the most successful entrepreneurs are enjoying their wealth with play toys such as mega mansions, super yachts, luxury cars, and dream vacations. All this coming up on Empire Builders TV. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In this episode, we'll meet Vincent Ayon, successful magazine publisher and accomplished recording artist. Vincent is the founder, CEO, and publisher of Phat Inc magazine and phatinc.com, an urban lifestyle publication based in Southern California. The magazine has featured exclusive interviews with such famous personalities as former heavyweight boxing champ and reality TV star Mike Tyson and comedian and Hollywood star Eddie Griffin. We recently sat down with the young entrepreneur for an in-depth and informative interview on the advantages and struggles of being a business owner and what it really takes to be a successful entrepreneur and empire builder. So tell us about Phat Inc magazine. How did you come up with the idea?
Phat Inc magazine. So what pretty much happened was I read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And reading that book, it talked about creating a mastermind. I said, you know what, let's form a Mastermind Alliance and let's create this business. So there was about 4 of us at the time that really came together, and we started working on doing this. And we, I didn't have any kind of expertise or experience doing this. But as the research went along, and some of the other people that were doing this with me, they actually had some expertise in actually printing and graphic design, and it really just kind of came together real fast.
Sounds like Napoleon Hill had a pretty profound influence on you in starting your business and coming up with this concept. Are there any other entrepreneurs that have had an influence or impact on you?
Yeah, you know what, actually it wasn't actually Napoleon Hill that got me into kind of like the law of attraction thing. It was actually Earl Nightingale. So Earl Nightingale was somebody I would listen to, and I was really intrigued before I even knew anything. I didn't know anything. So when I started listening to Earl Nightingale, then that kind of crossed me over to figure out who Napoleon Hill was. And so this wisdom that I was picking up, growing up as a kid, I wasn't really taught to anything about business or anything. I've had always big dreams and aspirations as far as being a musician, a musical artist, but I never knew anything as far as how to really control the mind or how powerful the mind is. I knew the mind was powerful, but it was never kind of orchestrated or really organized. Yeah, so that's what I would have to say in regards to that. And after Napoleon Hill, after Earl Nightingale, then going to Napoleon Hill, it kind of was able to give me a vision, shall I say, yeah, more of a vision. But yeah, those were the 2 main ones. And then, of course, Jim Rohn, and then I got into philosophy. I was always into philosophy, Friedrich Nietzsche, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but him, Plato, some Aristotle. So I was into philosophy, so I was always open to opening the mind. And as a kid, I remember I was maybe I would say 12 years old. I picked up a Carlos Castaneda book, and the Don Juan, so that I was reading that as a kid, and there's a whole big rumors and debate and interesting story about his way of you know, maybe the stories he got from the outer Indian down one, the Yaqui Indian. So there's a bunch of stuff, but that was kind of intriguing for me. Whether that was fictitious or not, it was still intriguing to be at a young age reading stuff like that, and then picking up a Plato book or an Aristotle book and being able to kind of really expand my mind at a young age.
I'd like to turn things around a little bit. Like, we always talk about the things that motivate us to become entrepreneurs, but I guess one of the biggest things, the biggest obstacles that entrepreneurs face is fear. So what would you say was your greatest fear in starting your business?
Greatest fear, you know what? I think the biggest fear would probably be being embarrassed of not actually making it. And I think that has maybe hindered a lot of people, you know.
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure and being embarrassed maybe of, because you know what, I do notice when you're creating something and you're getting some type of momentum, you do have people that start, it's weird when you're creating something. When you're creating something from scratch, no one really cares about it. No one believes in it. It's kind of like, you know, I heard it. But then as you start creating more and people start kind of getting an idea of the vision, then they start kind of following. Oh, he's doing something. They start following. But once things go down, then it's like, I told you so. And so I think the failure is something that would probably be the biggest thing that might have frightened me. But I was never afraid to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out there and challenge myself. I think challenges are part of the reason why I'm even here. You know, challenges are something that I actually embrace, whether I'm afraid to admit that or not. And what I mean by that is because challenges, yeah, they scare me, but that's what gives me the testosterone to be like, that's like a testosterone booster. And that's like my steroids right there, is because the fear challenges me.
Was there like a specific incident or something in your thinking that helped you to overcome that fear?
You know what? Like they say, a great martial artist, you know, when he first started, like say kicking. If you don't know how to kick, right, or punch, I mean, and you hit a bag. I don't know if you've ever punched a punching bag. You punch a bag. If you've never hit a punching bag, especially like a 200-pound punching bag or something like that, I mean, it's gonna hurt your hand. You know, you're gonna feel like you can break your hand literally. But once you start getting, more fundamentally formed with your punching, then you know how to jab, you know how to hook, you know how to do all these things, right, with the punching. And that takes time, and that's just like with anything else you do. And I started realizing that anything you do, you put your mind to, as the more you keep doing it, the more comfortable you do it.
So for you, what would you say is the most exciting part about being a business owner?
The most exciting part, you know what? I think that you do work more than the average, you know. And what I mean by that, it's more of a labor of love. You know, because you're doing something you're ultimately passionate about. Like, not everybody can say that they wake up every morning and they're doing something they love. And I mean, it's kind of like what Alan Watts said. Alan Watts said, you know, it don't matter about money. You do whatever you're passionate about. Do that, and the money will come. Whatever you desire shall come. It will come. Why? Because you're creating a masterpiece. People may not acknowledge the masterpiece, but as long as you keep doing it, eventually something's going to crack. So, in my honest opinion, I feel that you do have to stick at something and keep chipping away. The moment you stop, it's like starting back all over again. So everything, all the hard labor you put into something, you know, is gone.
A special thanks to Vincent Ayon of Phat Inc. magazine for joining us here on Empire Builders TV. And now, they say everything is bigger in Texas. In our luxury lifestyle segment, we'll meet one Texas entrepreneur's 48,000 square foot dream house, Champ d'Or. "35 miles east of downtown Dallas, Texas, lies one of the largest and most remarkable private estates in North America. Champ d'Or, French for field of gold, is a stunning masterpiece constructed in the French Baroque style. The castle-like structure was inspired by the French chateau Vaux-le-Vicomte, just outside of Paris. Of all the words in all the languages, none come close to describing the glittering brilliance of this masterpiece of art and architecture. The 48,000 square foot palatial French country retreat was conceived and created by entrepreneur Alan Goldfield, founder of Cellstar Mobile Phone Corporations. 5 years and over $72 million were required to complete the estate. Goldfield spared no detail or expense in transforming his dream into a palace fit for a king. After driving nearly half a mile from the gated entrance at the main road to the front steps of the palatial mansion, we enter the cavernous entrance hall, with its soaring muraled dome 78 feet above us. To our left, we enter the Grand Salon, modeled after a famous chateau in the south of France. The furniture filling the salon was purchased in France and still retains its original 18th century upholstery. With 7 massive bedrooms, including a 5,000 square foot master bedroom and 15 bathrooms, every inch of this fairy tale-like castle appears to have been inspired by a dream. In fact, the mansion is so massive, it's said Goldfield and his wife would lay in bed at night arguing over who would make the 10-minute walk from the master bedroom down to the kitchen to get the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Touring this estate is like taking a trip around the world. From the lavish tea room patterned after the Tavern on the Green in New York City, to the pink and black lacquer 2-story walk-in closet, which is an exact replica of the famous Chanel store in Paris, to the splendid ballroom, based on the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles. An outside veranda large enough to seat 450 guests, and 3 kitchens to feed them all, including a main kitchen and one dedicated to catering and one for staff, completes the amenities of this mansion. With such state-of-the-art amenities, there was hardly a reason for the Goldfields to venture outside their Texas palace. From a 2-lane, fully automated bowling alley with computerized scoring and a full-size racquetball court in the basement, to a state-of-the-art gym and yoga room, to an exact replica of a beautifully tiled steam room modeled after the Caracalla baths of ancient Rome. Alan Goldfield was once asked when he first conceived of the idea to create Champ d'Or. He reportedly replied, "When I was broke and penniless, and no one believed I would ever succeed." Goldfield died in 2014, but the legacy of Champ d'Or continues to inspire and encourage entrepreneurs to believe that even the biggest dreams really can come true. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to leave a comment below. Until next time, this is Bill Clark with Empire Builders TV.